bala. Ooh. Welcome to the bottom of a VS Fisheries growing pond. For me, seeing a lake with its trousers down is fascinating, and I think for you guys watching this, when you go fishing, you think about a feature that you see above the water, you cast to it. This is a golden opportunity to have a look at what that feature might look like with all the water gone. Let's take a stroll. Okay, we can clearly see at the bottom of this reed bed how the fish have been grubbing about. Look at these roots, they're all dug out. All these fibrous roots here, these would be buried in the silt naturally, but the fish have dug them all out. They've been hunting the natural food that lives in amongst this stuff. So great habitat for natural food. If I pull it about a bit, you can see some little bugs in there. Perfect. Anyway, let's go on around the corner and have another look. Okay, check out this cracking spot. Big bank of Norfolk reed or Phragmites. It's a cracking feature to fish to for sure, but think about that cast. You're casting from the far side, it's a 40-yard cast. In comes your lead. Water level's up here when the lake's full. You land on the surface, it looks nice and close to the reed, particularly when you're over there. If you let it go down on a tight line, that swings away from the reed, so you want to get in as close as possible. This is the strip that the fish are feeding on. They feel safe tight up against this reed bed. They don't out there. They know that's dangerous. So when you cast to a bed of reeds like this, think about what it might look like beneath the surface. Your ideal spot is somewhere here. You're going to get a bite there very, very quickly. Let's have a look around the corner. Look at this fantastic hole. Now this is what we'd call a carp hole. So what we've got here, the bank of this lake last year was pretty much flat here. The carp this year have dug out a hell of a crater. If you have a look at it, it's actually a few inches deep, maybe 4 or 5 inches deep. It's rock hard on the bottom, and around this side is lovely sticky clay, and I reckon that's why they form it. Look at that. Comes off on my hand, it's quite tacky. Now, a big carp routinely would have a few parasites on it, and this is what I think they come to do to get them off. They flank up here, they rub on that clay, and you've seen fish swim around in your lakes when you're fishing. That sticky clay lifts those parasites off. So I reckon that's what they're doing here. And they've created quite a big bowl, that's probably 1 metre across in just one summer. This would be a great spot to get a bite from. If you could land in that, you're going to get a carp every cast. Look at this spot. Now this is an interesting one. The clay changes colour a bit here, and they've definitely bowled this out. Look how undercut this bit of bank is. Now if you could cast in this area, you're definitely looking good for a bite. Bit of an indent in the bottom. The clay's really polished. Again, we've got that sticky clay, and I reckon that's really useful for the fish for getting rid of their parasites. I think if you stood by this lake for a few minutes at dusk, you'd see one show here. Good spot for a bite. Okay, well we've moved away from the margins now, we're onto the bottom of the lake. It's pretty flat out here, and this is soft silt. Look at this. I can push my hand right into that sediment. Lovely, gloopy, silty goo. But it might be tricky to present baits out here, but there's plenty of natural food living here. You can see the little holes in this puddle where the bloodworm are living. So each one of those little holes will correspond to a bloodworm, and carp love feeding on bloodworm. Get your presentation right, and this could be a very good area to catch fish from. Okay, I've walked through the soft silt in the bottom of the pond, really claggy stuff up to my knees, and I've come to this central spine that runs through the lake, and it's a hard ridge of clay. And certainly if you could find this with your marker float and lead setup, this is an excellent spot to put a bait. The fish are going to travel up and down this, running along the edge of that deeper channel. And it's certainly worth putting a bait on it. The difference here, the ground is really quite firm underfoot. You know, you can walk up and down this in your bedroom slippers near as damn it. Anyway, good spot for a bite. Try it. Okay, well this is the last little spot on our whirlwind tour of a drain pond that I want to show you, and it's one that I think is quite an interesting one, because certainly if you read the magazines, look on the internet, you'll certainly hear about guys talking about following the wind. And don't get me wrong, in my experience, carp follow the wind a lot, and I see it in this lake. However, it's significant that we're talking about the wind today because it's hacking down this way. Look at all this leaf litter. These are oak leaves which have come off the surrounding trees. and they've all collected in this corner. Now, oat leaves contain tannic acid, so that's quite unpleasant for the fish to feed in amongst, and also it doesn't rot down very well. So this can be a bad area to fish. It can be quite sour on the bottom, and if we have a look at some of the silt, we're going to see there's quite a lot of black rotting material, which are last year's and the year before's leaves, all rotting in this area. So although it might be right to follow the wind, think about it, particularly in the autumn. If you fish this area, you may well be fishing on this sort of debris, and that can make presenting the bait really tricky. Nothing worse than reeling in after a night and finding a little oat leaf perfectly hooked on your size 6 wide gate. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the little tour of a drain pond. I need to go and get some fish sorted.